going to be working on 4E, which is circles. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to bring our attention to our study habits. Now, if we are just looking at the video, getting exposed in class, we are going to forget everything that we are learning. It's important that we are having multiple exposures, and that means having taken that time out at home to practice, even if you've learned something a week ago. Bring it back to your memory, so make sure it stays there. Because everything this year is going to be built on, and if you struggle on one aspect, it will affect everything else that you do, and everything on in year 11 is expected knowledge in year 12. So the first thing I want to bring our attention to is talking about Pythagoras' theorem, because Pythagoras' theorem really focuses on allowing us to understand um, that we are able to get any point in on a graph by using them. So, and our c squared, our c is focusing on our radius, so we can use that for any single point. Now, there's always going to be this horizontal translation, horizontal shift, so that's why in the brackets there you're going to see a h. There's also going to be vertical shift, which is why we've got a k there. And the c squared is radius squared. If you look at the basic graph, our unit circle has got a radius of 1. So x squared plus y squared equals 1. And that means our center of our circle is right on the origin, has not moved. If we get y by itself, what we're going to notice is through transposing, we're going to have a square root function. So square root function gives us a positive and a negative, which means it's splitting our graph into two. So we've got two half circles. So in this form, if you're wanting to run it as a full circle, you're going to need to make sure you use a positive and negative sign. Let's start off with this question here. So there's a couple areas that we're going to look at. One is we're just going to look at the 169 to get started, because that 169 straight away helps me find the radius, because we are going to look at what is the square root of 169, and that is 13. The second part on what we will do is we will look at the brackets, the horizontal and the vertical shifts. So the center of my circle, the first thing we think about is how do I get x plus 1 to be 0? That will be -1. And how do I get y minus 4 to be 0? That will be 4. So that gives me my circle. So the next part is I'm just going to put the center on my graph. So the center is when x is -1, y is 4. Now I'm just going to go up by the radius of 13 to find the top, which will be 17. Just making it nice and clear. And then if I go 13 down, I should get to -9. And I'm going to work my way across, which means I'll point at 12 here, and then I'm going -1, take away 13, and that's going to get to -14. So I've got this point here. So that gives me part of my circle. Now, as I start drawing my circle, apologies if it's a rough sketch, we'll notice it is going through the y-axis and it's going to go through the x-axis. So the first thing we are going to do is we are just going to look at our y-intercept. Now we know this in a circle there's going to be two y-intercepts and two x-intercepts. So for the y-intercepts, we will let x equal 0. That means it'll be 0 plus 1, which is 1. 1 squared is 1. So it'll be 1 plus y take away 4 squared is equal to 169. I will take away 1 and then I'll square it at the same time. So that will give me y take away 4 is equal to the square root of 168, positive and negative. And then I'm going to add 4. Now, at this point, I don't expect you to be able to visually see the number straight away. I'm going to expect you just to be able to put this into the calculator to get the answer. So for this, it will give us two answers. One will be negative 8.96, and the other answer will be 16.96. So when you look at that, that is very close to here. And again, we'll go down here. We've got 6, 7, 8, negative 8.9. That's very close to this part here. So we can see, oops, so we can see how close it is. So now, when you find these points, I encourage you to label it. So we've got 0, 16.96, and we've got x is 0, negative 8.96 here. So now I've got that point, I can continue my graph. If I circle, apologies, is not fully circle until I get to there, and then I've got the two x-intercepts to look for. So for the x-intercepts, it's the same thing. We need to make y is equal to 0. So when I make y 0, it's going to have negative 4 squared, which is 16. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to have plus 16 is equal to 169. The next part, I'm going to do this in one step now. I'll take 16, I'll square root, and then I'll take away 1. So that should give me x is going to be equal to the square root of 153 plus and minus, take away 1. If I plug this into the calculator, it will give me 2 points. One will be 11.37 and the other one will be negative 13.36. So I can find those 2 points, 11.3 approximately, and I will label that 11.37, 0, and this other one was negative 13.3, negative 13.36, and y is 0. So now I continue around, and those points also help you to make sure your circle is mostly circular. Okay, let's look at the next question. So the next question is 2x plus 3 in brackets squared plus 2y take away 5 in brackets squared is equal to 36. So the first thing I want to do, which is the easiest part, is I'm first going to think about what is the form that we need this in, because it's not quite in the form that we want. So the form that we are always going to be asked to put it in, oops, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to radius squared. At the moment, we've got a 2 here. I'll highlight this, and a 2 here. So I'm just wanting to factor a 2 out the front, which means I'm dividing everything by 2. So when I do this, I'm just going to focus on one of the brackets here, just to show you. And I'm going to do it the long way, and that's just so you can get a sense of what's happening. So with this bracket here, that's just, oops, let's get a pen. That's the same thing as 2x plus 3 and 2x plus 3. I'm purposely writing it like this because if I take away 2 out of the first bracket, and then I take away 2 out of the second bracket, I know I'm putting it in the wrong form, but I'm just showing x. It's really got 4 out the front, so we're taking out the factor of 4. So if I erase this now, and when we change our equation, we're going to have 4 out the front then. Because I'm doing that to both of our brackets. That will then turn into x plus 3 over 2 squared plus y take away 5 over 2 squared is equal to 36. I can simplify this by getting rid of the 4 now.